We just ran a poll. I asked people. I said, what should we listen to first? Emerson, Lake and Palmer, or Camel? And you know what the people said? The people, if you're watching this video on YouTube, you already know, the people said Camel. So I would just, I'm kidding. They said ELP. You know, I've listened to Brain Salad Surgery. That was gnarly. It was prog rock that will blow you away. Some of the finest work on each of the respective instruments, between the drums, between the keys, between the bass and guitar. Absolutely bonkers. I'm told that their debut album is equally bonkers in different ways. Now, I'm pretty excited about this because it seems like this is 3 albums prior, right? So we've got Tarkus, which I actually believe my homie Cone has his name named after this album, if I'm not mistaken. Then we've got Pictures at an Exhibition, which is a live album, Trilogy, and Brain Salad Surgery. So there's 3 albums and 1 live album. Shout out to Spinetta. 3 albums and 1 live album that I've not heard. So I figured let's go back to the beginning. This is Progist after all. And this Progist, we have touched on quite a few, so far 2, Gentle Giant and Vandergraaf Generator. Tonight, ELP and Camel. Next week, Genesis and Magma. And then finally, Tull and King Crimson. But, guys, this is a music discovery stream. I have to ask, have you heard this album before? I am blessed with an amazing group of Discorderooskis, and I believe I've got a little bit of context here. Now, the first is the shout out to Garrett for the full album cover rollout there. Love to see a full open cover. Guys, you gotta let me know. Have you heard this album, or are you raw dogging a very first listen with me? Let's get back to ELP, shall we? Guys, I'm going to hit the play button. Before I do, it's very important to me that you know that you are awesome, that you are valuable, that you are important, that you matter, that you are deserving of love, and that I am abundantly grateful for even a moment of your time. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me out. If you really like what you see, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, or join us on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Arizona time. These people over here are the best people. Come hang out with us. Come discover music with us. I know I speak for all of us when I say we would love to have you by. Can I get some happy progist in the chat? Guys, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Let's do this thing, shall we? Opening up with the Barbarian. And again, let's see who is a raw dogger for the very first time. Who has not heard this? Here we go. Whoa. Immediately panic. I really want to call attention to the panning again, so just indulge me here, will you? I want you to be listening to what happens when it goes to wide left ear. What a way to start out. Like, it's already making your brain go... Whoop. Does this have lyrics that I need? So just so I'm aware, is Greg Lake playing the 18 stringer, like a double neck? So or what is it? A 10 stringer? Like, so he's got a guitar and he's got a bass. Is that what's happening here? What's it called? The 6110? Let me double check. Nope, it's not that. Double neck Gibson. 1275. That's what it is. 1275. Is he playing a 1275 for this? He just plays a bass. So he changes instruments if he needs to. For whatever reason, I thought he double necked it. I want you to get a sense of what's happening right here as well with the keys. You really get a sense of the room. I think they do that kind of by design because you get to hear more keys in the left ear. So that's a bass, that fuzzy tone? Yeah, it is. That's in your face. Why do I feel like we're going into a different scene on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? That's such an affectionate thing for me to say, by the way. I'm not, because Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood had some of the best jazz musicians ever, and whenever they would transition scenes, you would get that like kind of busy sounding like piano sound. This just happens to have Carl Palmer really riding a snare behind it. But listen to this. Tell me that doesn't remind you of Trolley Coated. Yes, thank you. Is he playing a grand? This is amazing. Listen to his right hand. Drums are in the right ear. I know I just paused it through the transition, but I really just want to hear that moment again. I've been saying for a while that Rick Wakeman is like my goated keyboard player, like my goated chairman of the boards, right? But I've got to say, every single time I hear Mr. Listen to this. Like, Keith Emerson is in the conversation. So jazzy. And the panning, it goes left to right ear when he does that. He plays the bass like a guitar. I love a Hammond B3 organ. Carl Palmer rips drums, dude. This is Final Fantasy boss music, you're right. His snare work reminds me of Billy Cobham. As a prog album opener, this is almost as good as Schizoid Man. I think it's got a fair argument. I think Schizoid Man has maybe something that some people, because I think a lot of people want vocals in a song. Not too many people are going to be like as apt, I think, to jump behind an instrumental. I disagree with that concept, right? I'm with you. But I think as far as prog rock openers go, it's hard to argue. I mean, heck of an opener. Besides the point, this does exactly what you would expect to a power trio to. Sorry, I just caught attention. I'm in the middle of this. I just noticed an ear there. It's like a bird. We consider the birds up in this. I'm guessing this is a hummingbird, by the way. But then you've just got a random ear there. Greg Lake is also on Schizoid Man. Fair enough. I remember you guys saying that. You know, what's interesting is Greg plays the bass a lot of times like a guitar in this context. You have those fuzzy tones, like very melodic because he's backing up the keys. You have the keys serving as your treble instrument here, but you go back and forth between like this grand and the Hammond. And it's very interesting. The way that they interact, where all of them are the leader, it very much has a jazz flavor to it. When we did Jazz June, I couldn't help but throughout the month comment on the fact that jazz seems to be this collective of musicians that decide, hey, we're all going to do our part holding the fort down, and we're going to take turns letting each person be the hero. And it seems like these guys have that concept down immediately. Because it seems like all of them are the star of the show. When you hear Carl Palmer just wailing on the drums, I think maybe that's why Billy Cobham comes to mind, because with Mahavishnu Orchestra, very similar in the jazz tradition, you see everybody gets to be the hero of the show. And then, let's just call it like it is. I think everybody gets wowed whenever Keith Emerson is behind the boards. But then the bass, that we could call it as dynamic as an actual guitar. Really, really, really strong opener, dude. Not a bad way to go about it. Next one is Take a Pebble. What you drinking on? I got a poppy. Yeah, it's poppy. Oh, we have some context. Let me W's to our friend Ale. Gonna try my hand at a quick bit of context for ELP. Emerson, Lake and Palmer was the first prog supergroup featuring members of The Nice, Keith Emerson, King Crimson, Greg Lake, and Atomic Rooster, The Crazy World of Arthur Brown with Carl Palmer. The band formed in 1970 and came to major prominence in their August concert at 1970 at the Isle of Wight Festival, where they played before an estimated 500,000 people. Holy cats. And turning them into essentially the first prog act to break into the mainstream. Their debut was released on November of that same year and broke the UK top 5 and the US top 20, going gold in both countries. Okay. W context. Hey, can we get some W's in the chat from my little sister, Rhea, Rooski sister I am? That's my flesh and blood. That is one of my human beings. That is one of my human beings. I expect everybody to make Rhea feel more than at home. Love you, lady. Going in to Take a Pebble. Oh, they didn't do it that time. Are they just scraping the inside of a piano?
Just take a pebble and cast it to the sea. Then watch the ripples that unfold into me.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Face spills so gently into your eyes, disturbing the waters of our lives.
This has to inspire Peter Gabriel. This has to inspire the vocal stylings of Peter Gabriel. Maybe I'm wrong, but the harmonizing right there kind of sold me on that idea.
Spill so gently into your eyes, disturbing the waters.
He was already singing like this? I still think it inspired him. If he heard it, he probably thought, because I think this is before the earliest Genesis album, right? Like, I'm just saying, he probably heard this, and this might have had something to do with some of his persona. First album, 1969. They formed in 65. Okay. The melodic bass playing is so nice.
Are lying on your grass, wounded words of laughter are graveyards of the past. Photographs are grey and torn, scattered in your fields. Letters of your memories are not real.
You were talking about keyboardist showman yesterday. I was. Keith was known for many antics, including the piano harp moment, mounting insane collections of keys and synths on the stage back when Moog were the size of phone booths. And in the knife edge, he'd often literally stab the organ with a knife given to him by Lemmy, a roadie at the time, later of Hawkeye and Motorhead. So Lemmy was a roadie for ELP? Like Motorhead. Lemmy was a... Wow. Is that real news? No way. That Lemmy. Wow. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. What a nugget! We are the road crew. Listen to the bass. How do you listen to this piano work? that an auto harp? Are we still inside the piano? This is a guitar. Left ear from a distance. Dripping water in the right ear? And the left. It's like you're playing guitar by a lakeside. To whoever the total baller was that was like at a camp and somebody was like, hey, play a song on the acoustic guitar. And that guy played this song. I salute you. There had to at least be one person that at camp took out their acoustic guitar and played this song. BHP, friggin' love you, homie. Thank you for the lurk. You sleep the best, you peach. This is so nice. Kind of has a brawnier stomp to it, but like obviously this inspired that. Yo, Derelict Andrew, thank you for that. It's so delicate sometimes. Oh. The harmonics. Keyboards fading in. Greg Lake produced it? Eddie Oford was the engineer. Keith Emerson, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. I've got to say, hearing this, the panning on the piano, you're hearing the right ear and the right hand and the left ear. I a bad fan for saying I'm already kind of more captivated by this than Brain Salad Surgery? It just seems like this has a lighter-hearted appeal to it to me. You know, it seems like they've got those big moments of fun. They've got those, you know, like really soft, delicate moments. It feels way less in your face and digital. Maybe that's where, you know, obviously with Brain Salad Surgery, you have a little bit of more of a synthesizer kind of approach to it. But this just has such a, maybe the pastoral vibe is really what I'm just finding myself vibing in. This seems closer to what the you know, the Yes work. To me, Yes has really kind of been, to me, like my favorite prog act, close to the edge being my favorite prog album. This has a little bit of that to me, without going full bore. Obviously, it doesn't have Rick Wakeman, but when you hear what Mr. Emerson does when it comes to the keys and the piano on this, it's just so nice. I'm so captivated. This has more of a jazzy, classical thing to it, meets prog. Oh my goodness, this is so nice. Oh my god, yeah. Maybe I'm hitting such an appreciation for this right now because we've just come out of the jazz exploration. That really set Progust up in a big way, didn't it? It's amazing how melodic the bass becomes in this instead of rhythmic. I mean, it's both, but his ability to utilize both concepts with his playing is incredible to me. He doesn't strike me as a prog piano or as a prog player. He strikes me as a classical player that chose to play prog, and I love that. Hey, love you, Rhea. Have a good one.
Sadness on your shoulders, like a worn-out overcoat.
I tell you what, I'm actually gonna, because we're gonna get stuck by an ad. I hate to say it, but I'm going to let this part come in so nobody misses anything. Do forgive me. I hate when this happens, but Twitch is Twitch. Sorry about that, guys. I literally used all of my snoozes on this song. They give me 3 snoozes. I used all of my snoozes to use to finish this song, and it still just didn't let me get through it. So I didn't want anybody to be missing any part of the music. So I'm going to roll it back a little bit. We're going to take the last section out. Again, please do forgive.
Sadness on your shoulders, like a worn out
Right here.
In pockets creased and tattered, hang the rags of your hopes. The daybreak is your midnight. The colors have all died. Disturbing the waters.
Piano is so powerful.
All our lives,
It's so you said this was the one that they jam on, huh? That was amazing. I really think that Take a Pebble just became my favorite ELP song. That was so good. Going into Knife Edge. What's your favorite ELP song? Just curious.
Just a step, cried the sad man. Take a look down at the madman. Theater kings on silver wings fly beyond reason. From the plight of the seagull,
it's like an echo on the hi-hat.
Of the eagle. Only fear breaks the silence as we all kneel, pray for guidance.
Oh, wow. Good nugget there. If these walls.
Tread the road, cross the abyss, take a look down at the madness.
But do you hear this in the left ear? It's like you hear the hi-hat in the right ear, but then it seems like I'm hearing a delay or an echo of the hi-hat in the left ear.
Tread the road, cross the abyss, take a look down at the madness.
The abyss, not abyss.
Of the city, only specters still have pity. Patient cues for the gallows, sing the praises of the hallowed. Our machines feed the furnace. If they take us, they will burn us. We'll
was the noise. And I do think it's funny that for a moment I thought abyss is just how like European, like English said it. You know, kind of like how they say aluminium instead of, you know, like the Americans would, aluminum. I'm kidding. That was a Parks and Rec ripoff. But it is always funny to me that they say aluminium instead of like aluminum. It's aluminum. But I kind of thought that was one such occasion where they were saying it differently. But, you know. That. The organ slide. Oh! The Hammond B3 organ, dude. This is one of the best prog first sides ever.
When the flames have their season, will you hold
Yes.
to your reason?
Look, Icon, you were not the only person that was thinking it sounded like Close to the Edge. And it made me realize, like, yes, almost certainly listened to this album before they released Close to the Edge. If I had to guess, because that's my favorite prog rock album, I've just spent the most amount of time with it at this point, right? Like, it is the prog rock album that I have gone back to the most by a landslide. That album, right? But I was saying that it's the best side of any prog. Well, it's hold up, hockey puck. You know, like I'm not there yet, right? Like you know, but I am saying it's leaving a very profound impression on me.
With your talents, can you still keep your balance? Can you live on a knife edge?
What's up, Ghost Ship? Do. Kind of a dive bomb landing there. So I'm not going to go out of my way to say which album side is better than others, because admittedly, I didn't grow up living with albums in terms of sides. I just wasn't in that generation. You know what I mean? Like, CDs never had sides, and believe you me, when streaming happened, I was really excited about it, but that certainly didn't have sides. So I never started intellectualizing albums in this way until we all started having this conversation amongst ourselves on the show. You know, when we started kind of I realized I really liked it when you guys would say like, "Hey, this is side 2 or this is the B side of the album." I really liked that. And so it just kind of became a part of channel lore. It became something that we discuss on the channel. And honestly, I think it's kind of a staple that we discuss as we go through it, especially with classic records, because I have realized in the comment section, so many people associate their love of old classic albums with one side or the other. You know, they really do. And that to me is really, really, really cool. There's some kind of, you know, nostalgia that I'll never have that I kind of get to live by proxy, you know, vicariously through your guys' reminiscence. I truly, as far as a first impression goes, I almost wish I would have gone chronologically with the LP. If I would have started with this, you know, this might have made when I realize that this walks so that brain salad surgery can run, maybe seeing that evolution wouldn't make me think, not that I'm saying like this is, I mean, I'm saying I like this better for sure, but maybe if I would have done this before that, I would appreciate that one a little bit more. I'm also going to say, similar to other artists, it's sometimes hearing another one of their records makes you appreciate the ones you already heard more. And I'm wondering if this same case is going to happen here. Because you know, yeah, I think that, no, I feel like I described that well. Next is The Three Fates. Is this instrumentals, guys? Side 2, everybody. Flip them over. A mini suite, I'll take it. Ooh. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Keith Emerson's work continuously makes me realize him and Wakeman are my goats. When I started this channel, I used to say that Benmont Tench was my favorite keyboard player. And now I just realized Benmont Tench was my first favorite keyboard player. And the keyboardists, the men behind the keys that we have heard on this channel, almost makes me embarrassed to have said that Benmont Tench was my favorite. He's a great keyboard player. He is a virtuosic player, no matter what you say. But he don't do this. Left here. Interesting. You know how sometimes I talk about drummer perspective in recording, where you can tell if you're recording it as if you're the drummer or you're a person watching the drummer because it's mirrored, you know, one side or the other. And that's happening with the keyboard here. It's like you're standing in front of the piano and you're hearing the low notes in your right ear, and the high notes you're hearing his right hand in your left ear. This is something I have never noticed before just this moment, but it's absolutely the way they recorded this. They stereo mic'd, almost maybe figure 8 patterned. I don't know what mics they would have been using back then. Maybe Neumann's? So maybe it had the figure 8 pattern back then? I'm not sure. But if they multi-mic'd it, they panned it to where it's like you're standing right in front of the piano. What up, Tara? His dynamics going loud, hard to soft. The classical piano thing is just incredible. What's up, Grog? Welcome to the Rooskies, homie. Rooskies, make our new friend feel at home. I really think that this is nice. And then you go back to church organ. Love that. The fact that you get these two totally dynamic pieces of keys, I think is just really, really cool. I have not spent a whole lot of time listening to classical piano. I'm just going to level with you. It's not a genre or avenue or territory I've necessarily explored so much. Yes, I'm still liking this more than brain salad surgery. I'm not going to like, I don't want to appear to be a bad ELP fan here, right? But this is hitting me in where I'm at closer to now. This is, and maybe there's a layer of recency bias. I'm not going to deny it, but I don't think we're here to say which album I like more, so much as to say like what hits me in the moment. And, in this context, I think that this is just closer to what it is I would be vibing with in the prog rock world. That's just kind of where I'm at with it. Maybe I'm one of those fans that my favorite ELP record's the one I happen to be listening to at the time, but this just hits me as in a closer to my personal interest of sound spot. Okay. Guys, what's up, goats? Or gets, forgive me. I've got to say, I think maybe I'm just predisposed to liking prog rock. I think I've said it before, but the more we've listened to it, the more prog is kind of slowly but surely crawling its way into like my one of my all-time favorite genres. I mean, I think indie rock is like the first favorite. It's the one that like it's the first language of music I ever learned how to speak. It's probably always going to be the most sentimental to me. But I think prog is like becoming my favorite genre of music. There's just so much to dig into. Every single time I listen to almost any prog album, there's something I hear for the first time. Whether it's panning, whether it's instrumentation, a feeling I get in, a solo, a lyrical consideration I hadn't thought of before. It's like watching a movie. I really think that that's the way to do it. It's something that I can listen to intently, or it's something that I can just let play white noise. I don't have too many genres like that. Sometimes I feel like I have to listen to what's going on if I'm going to play certain music. Sometimes I feel like, I could just let this play in the background while I do X, Y, or Z. But in this context, I the more I listen to prog, especially the more we've explored it on the channel, the more it's just occurring to me that I just have a natural penchant for it, even like when we've done some of the, I guess maybe the most modern prog stuff I would say I've done is like Tool, maybe Between the Buried and Me, but there is some of the Gizzy stuff, but I just don't think that there's any way you can deny the fact that these three guys are freaking geniuses, like massively virtuosic performers and players, and yeah, when you think about the umbrella that is prog rock, you can call Pink Floyd prog for sure. You can definitely call Genesis in their early days prog rock for sure. And those acts have just really changed me. It like really, really, really hit me hard. I think they clearly inspired a lot of the music that I ended up listening to growing up. And I don't know. I cannot help but think that prog has kind of become maybe my favorite genre. I didn't even say Toller King Crimson. I should have, but I didn't. It's dumb. What's up, Mo Begin? Rush. goodness. Just Keith Emerson being grandiose throughout the song entirely. Blew up. This is the other thing I want to talk about. The fact of the matter is, we've explored a lot of music in our journey on the channel. We've listened, me specifically, you know, I've dug into more and more jazz, and I think my love of jazz, my growing love of jazz, has informed a lot of my current and existing love for prog rock. So when you dig into these things, you see more and more and more get tied into it, you know? And you start connecting dots and you start realizing prog rock is like jazz fusion with vocals. There's a lot of different components to it, but there's such a cool Venn diagram there of overlap. It's nice. From this let's see, from Christ Go, 1970. This opens with the Barbarian, a keyboard showpiece, not to slight all the flailing and booming underneath. Replete with the shifts of tempo, time, key, and dynamics. Beloved of these bozos. Does the title mean they see themselves as rock and roll Huns sacking 19th century classical tradition, or do they think like Verdi portraying Ethiopians and Aldi from such confusions of flow music? Not 1971. Was that like an article of somebody? Somebody wrote about them? This is Tank. I didn't expect to hear clavinet today. I'm not gonna lie. Not on this. The two different keys in both ears. So cool. And we will I didn't even ask the thing I always ask. Guys, we have 2 songs to go. I gotta ask, for the first timers, how is this album hitting you? How are you enjoying it? People returning to the album. How's the revisit treating you? And will it stick the landing? Let's get back into Tank. I think so many of us are hardwired to think of Stevie with the clav. They're so in sync when they do those octave moments with one another. Oh my gosh. Carl Palmer, ladies and gentlemen. Dude. A single pedal. The drum panning work is so nice as well. Is it a gong? The snare's running the whole time. What? It kind of reminds me of like How Many More Times from Led Zeppelin 1, but what just happened here? How many more times treat me the way that you wanna do? I can't not hear it, but I also want to hear that drum part again. Right here, what's happening there? Can I get somebody that knows maybe the recording process to tell me how they did this in 1970? I just never thought about using a drum with the phaser and a flanger. A high-pass filter, maybe, but then you have the panning moment, too. And are you experienced? Yeah, I guess, but I never thought about how he did that either. These guys were really running away with stereo techniques in an amazing way. The studio is an instrument to these gentlemen. worth keeping in mind, synths at this time were monophonic. So, oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought about that. Keith loved overlaying synths to create polyphony, and it was a huge source of frustration for him in later albums to try to translate these sounds and textures into a live context. I can absolutely believe that's the case, especially when you consider the fact that they absolutely used the studio as an instrument, and then they want to be honest recreators of their own sound in a live context. So really, until stereophonic or quadraphonic sound happens and becomes available in a live context, you're kind of limited at the ability to recreate the sound you can make because you did it before in a live context. And can you imagine going to see ELP, having heard this album in its true glory, and realizing that the live sound technology hasn't gone as far as the studio sound technology? That's actually a very interesting concept that I hadn't heard. Some of those dudes were so good that they would suffer by comparison to themselves because of sound. I had never thought about that before. I'm sure it still sounded great. And especially if you were working the stage, TWH, I believe that to be true. But it's not. It's something I hadn't ever actually considered before. You might know Lucky Man from the radio or The Simpsons. I have never seen The Simpsons. People seem to not believe me when I say that, which I understand, because not everybody knows what it is to grow up in like a religious household that thought The Simpsons was evil. But I've never seen The Simpsons. A lot of people have said I would probably enjoy it, but it's such a vast thing that I didn't know where to start. And I've never seen The Simpsons. From that, I probably also very much didn't hear the radio that you're referring to. So anyways, yeah. Guys, we're going into the last song on the album. Is it going to stick the landing? This is probably a top 5, potentially a top 3, but certainly a top 5 prog album I've heard. Like, this is a really high rating on a first listen. I haven't even had a chance to reward myself with re-listens yet. This is an incredible accomplishment to me. I have not seen ELP play live either. That's something I'm very excited about. That said, I guess maybe one day I'll watch The Simpsons, I guess. I don't know. Does it stick the landing, guys? We've got lyrics. Love the drum panning.
White horses and ladies by the score, all dressed in satin and waiting by the door.
Favorite vocal take on the album already.
Ooh, what a lucky man he was.
Oh, I've got context for this one. Do forgive. Let me check her out here. Oh, come on, computer. Be nice to me, baby. Here we go. Lucky Man context. Greg Lake wrote the song when he was 12. When the band got to the end of the recording session, they were told they were 3 minutes short, and Lake said, "I have something that might fit." Emerson wasn't impressed and went to the pub. Lake laid down his part, and Palmer played the drums. When Emerson returned, he decided to complete the track by playing his brand new Moog synthesizer, which he became famous for. ELP's first hit. 12 years old? Is Greg the best prog vocalist? Peter Gabriel.
Waiting by.
Do I think that, though? John Anderson is what I would have thought was going to come out of my mouth. John Anderson is the lead of my favorite prog band, but I think Peter Gabriel is Ian Anderson has to be considered too. I think if you're talking best voice in prog, though, David Gilmour also is in that category of people. But I don't think David Gilmour is the best vocalist. I think he's just a good vocalist. He doesn't do all of the nuts and bolts, and he doesn't do the stuff that you hear the other guys do. The character playing. Peter Gabriel or John Anderson? I don't know. You shouldn't have asked me that question.
What a lucky man he was.
I want to start this over. I got derailed by that question. It's a good question. It deserves a good answer, and I just don't have one for you.
He had white horses and ladies by the score.
Hey, have a good one, Icon. Love you, homie.
Dressed in satin and waiting by the door. Ooh, what a lucky man he was. Ooh, what a lucky man he was.
Amazing harmonies. Oh my gosh.
White lace and feathers, they made up his bed. A gold-covered mattress on which he was led. Ooh, what a lucky man.
He wrote this when he was 12. How old were our heroes when they recorded this album? Anybody got that? Anybody got that idea?
Ooh, what a lucky man he was.
Love the guitar. An overdue moment for me.
He went to fight wars for his country.
That bass line is so expressive over top of this acoustic.
Of his honor and his glory.
And the bass is over top of the acoustic guitar. It's not the other way around as it would conventionally be. I know it sounds silly to make that distinction, but in this context, it's necessary. Carl Palmer was 19?
To fight wars
26, 23, and 20. Okay.
and his king, of his honor and his glory. The people would sing. Ooh, what a lucky man he was. Ooh, what a lucky man he was. A bullet had found him. His blood ran as he cried. No money could save him. So he lay down and he died.
Oh, wow. A 12-year-old knew how to write irony like this? This is what happens when you grow up in post-war England, is that you're 12 years old and you write about terribly poetic irony.
He was
I okay. Okay. What a lucky man I was to hear this for the first time. Stuck the landing, dude. Stuck the landing. Imagine this when you'd never heard a synthesizer. I can't even conceptualize it. I couldn't tell you when the first time I heard a synthesizer was. I didn't know of sound before the synthesizer existed, you know? So it's really crazy to me that you guys would hear this acoustic song with some bass, some drums, some guitar, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, that's not a Hammond. That's not a clav. That's bonkers to me. That's crazy to me. This album totally hit. This album, I mean, apart from the fact that it probably absolutely is responsible for a lot of the prog rock that follows it. It's one of probably our earliest examples of prog in general anyway. I mean, when we're looking at this, comes out November 20th of 1970. So what, in the Court of the Crimson King is out before this. Piper at the Gates of Dawn is out before this. What prog albums are really hitting before this? I mean, this has got to be one of the earliest examples of prog, period, right? I mean, Greg was in KC before this, Soft Machine, okay. This has to be one of the earliest examples. I mean, truly, again, I can think of a lot of albums that come after it, but this is one of the earliest. I'm a big old fan of this, dude. This is great. ELP is so coming back to the channel. This is, I mean, again, I think I'm going to end up having to give Brain Salad Surgery just another fresh listen now that I've got that one under my belt. But this was tremendous. There was not a single miss on this. There wasn't a moment where I was like, yeah, I don't know about that choice. You know, the mixing was, and mastering was just as much an instrument as the keys were. Their chemistry is not to be denied. And you know that a lot of this they had to play in tandem. It wasn't just like, okay, go play the drums now while we listen. Like, they had to play this in a room together at some point, you know? Like, and yeah, maybe they mixed and mastered from there. Maybe they overdubbed, but like, they played it together in a room. Analog recording, it makes that necessary. This is great. This is great. Yeah, I'd return to Van der Graaf. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Again, prog, you know, it's just so nice. I think just, I mean, it's a favorite. Guys, Progist is awesome. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. Continue to be the best. And until I see you next, be introspective and consider the birds. Goodbye.